Nuestras amistades son distintas.
Voy a una fiesta y vosotros ya no estáis para piscinas. Chao.
Nuestra vida sexual es distinta.
¿Fotoculo?
No tengo fotoculos.
¡Que vea yo ese culo!
Oh.
Hi, this is Pedro from Cartelera, Spain. Such a pleasure to meet you. How are you?
Hello, Pedro.
Hi.
I love your flag in the bag, honey. Yes.
Yay!
That's
I'm glad
the
you
one
like
Beyonce
it.
sings about. That flag right there.
That one. Congratulations on making history with Bros. Historic theatrical release, historic all LGBT cast. So congratulations on that, and thank you so much.
Thank you.
And well, I loved your plot in the film and your group scenes and how it being a comedy, it also tackles serious issues. And in this case, the importance of teaching LGBTQ history in museums and in schools, which is a very timely subject, sadly, not only in the States, but also in Spain. So how do you think we should teach children about queer culture and history, and what do you think Bros can contribute to that conversation?
I certainly feel, to your point, we're at a precarious place right now. Certainly within our schools, our teachers, book banning again, nonsense, if you will. And let's just say on a Bros level, this movie for anyone, young, old, is to look up on that screen and see the LGBT community both being funny, but we learn something, there's heart, and you're seeing a friendship on screen. You're seeing a family on screen. You're seeing points of view you haven't seen, not all together, collectively, maybe in little pockets and in different shows, but not all together. And I think, I don't know if Billy and Nick even knew what they were doing with, a school and a conversation over the table about exposing kids and teaching, but to open that into a normal understanding that this is the history, these are the beautiful colors of this rainbow that these children get to understand from an early age. We're the most impressionable. We're the most sponges, ready for both knowledge and love and questions and complications, and the idea that we even fight that is kind of heartbreaking.
And I think too, history can't be selective.
Yes.
There has to be inclusiveness, and there's so much history that we're still finding out that we have no idea about as far as the LGBTQ community, and to open that up to these kids, and like Jim said, they're a sponge, and to let them take from it what they will, as we do,
Yeah, we need more centers and museums like that in real life. Please, everyone take note and, start organizations, museums, and LGBTQ history courses and everything, all of that. I hope that this film can teach people that. Would you do that in real life? I mean, would you work on something like that if you had the opportunity?
Oh, I would love to.
Well, honestly, I don't think a museum like that exists.
No, it doesn't.
At all.
Not like in the movie.
And, I've told people a lot.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of times I've told people that a lot of who we are in society, both gay and straight, has been on the shoulders of gay people. As a Black person, I don't get to be free and Black if it weren't for people like Bayard Rustin, if it weren't for people like Audre Lorde or James Baldwin. As a gay person, I don't get to be free and gay if it weren't for people like Marsha P. Johnson, if it weren't for people like William Dorsey Swann, people like Miss Freddie, and I'm naming people. Miss Freddie is a character that I played before, but I learned a lot about and contributed a lot to me being able to be who I am. And because and the list goes on. The list goes on. And I think it is important, as much as we as a society has raised money and raised our voices and fought nail and tooth to have museums, the African American Museum that lives in DC, or even the Holocaust Museum, you name it, and we have all of these all of these artifacts and all of these things that make up who we are as a society, we need that same vim and vigor to highlight those that paved the way for the LGBTQ community. And so it's a matter of time before it happens. I feel like this movie
Is a catalyst for that.
is a catalyst for it, and I feel like that it has planted the seed, and it's only a matter of time before it harvests and manifests itself.
I hope so. I really hope so. And if you start one, please come in. I
Yeah.
will do whatever, bring coffees or
Come
whatever.
on.
Let's talk about the group scenes in the museum, because they are hysterical. You are all hysterical, and I love them. And I want to know what was the level of improvisation in those scenes with you?
Yeah, I believe we filmed the script generally first and got through it, and then of course there was a lot of room for improvising after that, and there was a lot of people kind of flying in jokes to you and being like, "Ooh, try this." And we had, of course, Billy, who wrote it, was there, and then Guy Branum, who was sort of a producing writer, and he would come up with a lot of things. And then Nick himself would be, giving us jokes, and of course, each of us came up with some, and it was sort of a perfect balance. It was a great recipe for a wonderful pie.
Perfect storm.
I loved seeing you in the film. You're so hilarious, and it's great seeing how Billy acknowledges and uses his privilege to give voice to underrepresented groups inside the LGBTQIA community.
Yes.
So how did you feel about that, and what was the process of discussing your roles in the film and the importance and purpose of having you there?
I think Billy was very strategic about the way he cast this movie.
Mm-hmm.
I think he understood that this movie needed to have every type of representation of the LGBTQ community. Every hue of color, every shape, and every size. And to be a part of such a vast and broad cast that make up the LGBTQ community and represents the LGBTQ community is a dream come true. It's one we've never seen before. We've never seen a group of queer people, trans people, bisexual people, lesbian people represented in an authoritative light without being the peon of or the token gay of any of those things. We are here telling our own story, inviting people into our love story, and inviting people to laugh with us opposed to allowing people to laugh at us.
Right. And I do thank Billy for using his privilege, like you said.
Yeah.
I do thank him for doing that and reaching down or back, not down, reaching back and pulling in, all hues,
That's
as Miss Lawrence says, of the community. And I was posed with a question before when they asked me about, the diversity in the film and the stories about two cis white men and me being a black trans woman in the film. Well, the film is very it was already something that could have been difficult to make from a major studio. And so what I appreciate about Billy is understanding that and then reaching and saying, I'm going to pull, every piece of a marginalized community, even though he is gay, he has a privilege as part of being white. So he has that privilege. And so what was important for me in that situation with him is that he pulled in, every piece. Eve, she's Cuban American. Miss Lawrence is black. I'm black. And so it was important for him to do that. And I'm so glad that he did do that.
Yeah. Well, we need your spin-offs, by the way.
It's coming, baby. It's coming.
I thought it was a brilliant script, and I particularly enjoyed the references in the film. And I want to ask Dot, you particularly, because there's a very brutal joke about Glee in the film. And I want to know, what did you think of that joke, having worked in that show, and Billy having worked with Ryan Murphy as well in American Horror Story? Did you have anything to do with the writing of that joke? Any insight on that?
It's all taken. I mean, a lot of jokes are taken with a grain of salt, and I didn't feel one way or another with the Glee joke, but Billy has written, and he and Nick have written this film so amazingly that I think it's with a grain of salt. There wasn't any wrong or, wrong way to do it. And we all, I think, make jokes of ourselves. And that's what life is, I mean, if you can't laugh at yourself, hello, you just, I don't know. It just went with the flow, and I didn't see. Of course, I didn't see anything wrong with it. I thought it was hilarious.
It was hilarious. I laughed my ass up with that joke. So it was great talking to you. I have to wrap it up. Thank you so much for your time. Good luck with the film, and take care.
Thank you so much.
Bye. Thank you.
Nuestras relaciones son distintas.
Esta es la semana de la visibilidad bisexual y nadie se ha enterado.
El mes dedicado a la historia del lesbianismo fue en marzo. ¿Y a quién coño le importó?
Claro, las lesbianas un mes y nosotros una semana.